This is something I do cover a bit when it comes up, and that is the absolute train wreck you might have heard called Obamacare. The beginning of the end for Obamacare. Largest U.S. health insurer exits Georgia and Arkansas. Or depending on where you're from, Arkansas. Zero Hedge, you can't say United Health did not warn us. Tracking the slow... Oh, they even used the word I just used. Tracking the slow motion train wreck of Obamacare has become one of our preferred hobbies. This is funny because I feel the same exact way. Whenever it comes up, there's an opportunity to absolutely bash Obamacare, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to just make stuff up or to bash something. I don't do that. I want real information, factual information. Here's the proof. This so-called state exchange is costing billions. They're not making it. They're shutting down. Oh, here's another exchange. Oh, as a matter of fact, out of the 24, 12 of them are left. The other 12 have closed doors. They're done. So to add salt to that wound, United Healthcare? Wow. United Health. Tracking the slow motion train wreck of Obamacare has become one of our preferred hobbies. Below is just a random sample of headlines covering just the most recent tribulations of the we have to pass it to find out what's in it Unaffordable Care Act, as opposed to Affordable Care Act. And here it is. Here's some headlines. In latest Obamacare fiasco, most low-income workers can't afford Affordable Care Act. The stunning explanation an insurance company just used to boost health care premiums by 60%. Your health insurance premiums are about to go through the roof. The stunning reason why. Obama promised health care premiums would fall $2,500 per family. They have climbed $4,800 plus. Largest health insurer on Colorado Exchange abruptly collapses. Oh, that's another one. You can add that to the 12. Now that's probably 13. Co-op insurers across America are collapsing, and now there is fraud. No. Fraud? You're lying. You're in the land of free America? You're kidding me. $19,000 premiums. Up 4 times since passage. The crippling effect of Obamacare on the middle class. And finally, meet the family that just spent half its annual income paying for Obamacare. But the most surprising article we wrote was our explanation from last November explaining why your health insurance premiums are about to go through the roof, showing that even insurance companies have been unable to earn a profit under Obamacare, as shown as the following chart, which I'm not going to show it to you on my phone. Many lost money in the individual market in 2014 after the law reshaped it. Operating gains and losses among individual insurers. Most are losing. 28% had losses up to 10 million. 15% had losses between 10 and 20 million. 8% had losses between 20 and 30 million. 2% 30 to 40. 2% 40 to 50. And 9% had losses more than 50 million. These are insurance companies. This was a stunning revelation because, after all, the Affordable Care Act was largely drafted by the insurance industry itself. And if for whatever reason it itself was unable to capitalize on Obamacare, then it has truly been a disaster. It all came to a head in late November of last year when none other than the U.S.'s biggest health insurer, United Health, cut its 2015 earnings forecast with a warning that it was considering pulling out of Obamacare just 1 month after saying it would expand its presence in the program. At the time, I remember doing a video on this. At the time, United Health Group said it would scale back marketing efforts for plans it's selling this year under the Affordable Care Act and may quit the business entirely in 2017 because it has proven to be more costly than expected. In a statement, United Health said that the company is evaluating the viability of the insurance exchange product segment and will determine during the first half of 2016 to what extent it can continue to serve the public exchange markets in 2017. Well, here's a little knock on the door of reality. It can't and won't unless rates rise drastically. And the more rates rise drastically, or not drastically, just keep rising, the more people will fall off and say, well, we can't afford it now. Up next group, we can't afford it now. Next highest earning group, we can't afford it now. Which leaves what? Fewer and fewer and fewer people paying for other people's expenses, because that's essentially what's happening here. Because then people become dirt poor, and then, okay, now I qualify. Now I qualify for some great subsidies. Why y'all complaining? Why is everybody complaining about health insurance? We don't pay that much. I'm sorry, how much money do you make a year? Or, not really. How much do you put down on paper do you make a year? Your whole family's income's $30,000. Oh, gotcha. Even though you don't make $30,000, you make a lot more than that, but you're able to work the system towards $30,000. So you have great healthcare premiums and whatnot, because the rest of it's subsidized. And who pays for any subsidy? The taxpayers. Government doesn't just print money out of thin air that isn't owed and have to pay on that. That's the rest of us who have to take care of that tab. And those of us who make just a bit above that amount where we can't get the subsidy, who are still maybe barely even called middle class, possibly, we don't get that cheap bill. We get a very expensive bill. And we say, oh my God, I can't afford this. So once again, that person falls off the train. I can't pay for it. But you're going to get taxed next year. You didn't have insurance this year? No, I couldn't afford it. You're going to get hit next year. The IRS tax, not having health insurance, yeah. Absolutely illegal, 100%. You can't have certain people taxed and other people not taxed because of a product they chose to buy or not buy. It's flat out wrong. There's no way it's constitutional. But when you have hand-picked federal judges, hand-picked, not elected, Supreme Court justices, they're always going to find what you, as the president or Congress, have said as to be true and correct. What did they promise us? This, if you make that was Obama, first of all, $250,000 or less a year income, you will not see any tax increases unless you need health care. That's a big one. Because you're going to pay massively for health care, so it's kind of like you're paying this massive tax. At the same time, if you can't afford health care, you're going to be taxed, literally taxed, because you can't afford it and you have to have it. Or you can become dirt poor and get subsidies. But then you're not going to live the American dream. Those days are over. What do I do? Well, that's for everybody to decide, I suppose. Needless to say, the implications for Obamacare, which had seen a surge in problems over the past year, were dire. As Bloomberg reported at the time, a pullback would deal a significant blow to President Obama's signature domestic policy achievement. While United Health has been slower than some of its rivals to sell Obamacare policy since new government-run marketplaces for the plans opened in 2013, the announcement may indicate that other insurers are struggling. If one of the largest and presumably, by reputation and experience, the most sophisticated of the health plans out there can't make money on the exchanges, then one has to question whether the exchange, as an institution, is a viable enterprise. United Health further said it suspended marketing its individual exchange plans and is cutting or eliminating commissions for brokers who sell the coverage. Fast forward to today, the U.S.'s largest health insurer announced it has decided to pull the plug on 2 state Obamacare markets. Going forward, UnitedHealth said it will no longer sell plans for next year in Georgia and Arkansas, according to state insurance regulators. Tyler Mason, a UnitedHealth spokesman, confirmed the exits and declined to say whether the company would drop out of additional states, Bloomberg reported. Declined to say whether the company would drop out of additional states. In other words, you can't even say no. Oh, no, we're not going to. And you're not going to say, yes, absolutely we are. So since you're not willing to say either, that automatically means yes. Kind of like when your kids ask you, okay, Daddy, can we do this? I don't know. Daddy, can we do this? Maybe. If you're not willing to say yes or no, kids, usually it's going to mean no. Okay? It's going to mean no. As per our extensive coverage of the topic, the reason for the pullout is simple. Many, if not most, insurers found it difficult to turn a profit in the new markets created by the Affordable Care Act, where individuals turned out to be more costly to care for than the companies expected. UnitedHealth and Aetna, Inc. both posted losses from their policies last year, as did Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans in states like North Carolina. What does it say here about Georgia? In total, Georgia currently has 9, make it 8 after the withdrawal of UnitedHealth, health insurers that currently offer Affordable Care Act policies, according to Glenn Allen, a spokesman for the state's insurance commissioner. Others include Aetna, Humana, and Cigna. No other company has yet told Georgia that it's exiting, and companies have until May 11th to decide, he said. We are certain that many, if not all, will promptly follow in UnitedHealth's footsteps as the beginning of the end for Obamacare finally plays out. So many skeptics of the Affordable Care Act, including myself, have predicted. The ticking time bomb, it's a train wreck. It's an absolute walking nightmare. You could start a whole series, TV show, not The Walking Dead, walking nightmare, and just show people struggling with their healthcare problems, their taxes and all that, the family who spend half their income. You can make a whole TV show series, and we would all watch this as a bunch of sheeple Americans and say, did you see that show last night? Man, could you believe they spent half their family's income? Holy crap, man. Oh, yeah, such a good show. Thank God it's not real. Yeah. All right, take care, buddy. Oh, wait, it is real. Oh, wait, that really did happen. Oh, my God, the whole damn show's actually happening. But I don't care. I'm a sheeple American, right? So, can't wait till the next season's episode starts. You know, Season 5, Episode 11. Yes. The nightmare known as Obamacare. Seriously, you can make a whole show on it. And so, another day in the land of the free. I didn't do a video on Friday, as you know. And sometimes I don't do them on the weekend anyways. Most of the times I usually don't. Maybe I'll do one on a Saturday or sometimes one Saturday, Sunday. But before we had kids, my wife and I, naturally, I used to have a little 16-foot boat. It was a sugar sand Tango. Little jet boat. Essentially a jet ski propulsion system, so there's no, propeller sticking out. It's safe. People, if you're hanging off the back of the thing trying to climb up, you don't got to worry about, your foot getting nicked or hit or anything. Completely safe. I thought how much fun I used to have in that thing, but then we had kids. Okay, time to sell the boat. Need the money and whatnot. But now that my kids are older, twins are 10, Ashley's 7. For a while now, I've been like, man, I would really like to get another jet boat. I thought at one point maybe a ski boat or something, but my wife was like, no, if we get one, it needs to be a jet boat. You can go in shallow water, they're safer, they're funner. Yeah, that's true. So I've been looking lately, and I live fairly close to a river now. And I thought to myself, God forbid if any kind of major event has happened and rivers start overflowing or something along that nature, at least I'll have a boat to get into and get out of Dodge, or at least, in a major crisis. But at the same time, with all the crap, seeing where our country's heading, see what the hell's going on. As I've mentioned a few times, I've met my goals with silver and that kind of thing, and exceeded that goal. And okay, let me buy a little bit more. Exceeded that goal. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, at what point do you stop just focusing on one thing like that and actually live a little bit while we can, I should say. So I said, my kids would absolutely love it. They'd have a great time pulling them in a tube, that kind of thing. It's summertime. I felt like, what? There's just a pretty good deal on one of these boats. The guy lived nearby. Just had a brand new engine put in it. Jet system was rebuilt. It's actually supercharged motor. Supercharger was rebuilt. The whole motor was, it's actually a new motor. And again, with boats, motor's the most important thing. That's usually where your problems are going to lie for the most part with boats. Of course, hull damage and things like that's one thing, but he just had everything replaced in February. Showed me all the receipts, etc. Price was lower than what the Blue Book value showed, So I'm like, let me go for a little test drive. Went for a test drive. Man, the boat performed solidly. It was great. No problems. A couple small things. Trailer light was out. I got to fix that. The navigation light in the front isn't coming on for some reason. Not that I really want to drive the thing at night, but sometimes back in the day, we used to go to downtown Tampa, and there's waterways throughout there from the river, and it's really neat to go down there and see all the lights, city lights at night, and you're just kind of cruising peacefully down there. It's pretty neat. There's some springs in Florida, and one of the rivers is called the Weeki Wachee River, and they have like this little mermaid show at this facility up there, and you can go there and take your kids. But that spring is right there, comes out of the ground, obviously, and then flows down through the river, meets the river, and then the river goes out to the bay. But manatees are constantly in there, but you need a boat. If you're going to go upstream where it's shallow, you got to have a boat that can do it, like a jet boat. So my wife's like, you remember when we did that? It was just, we didn't have kids back then. I was like, yeah, that was really cool. She sees a manatee, she like dives off the boat and practically tackles the thing, on accident. And, it was cool. So I just been thinking lately, man, I think I want to get a boat. Worst case scenario, it's got a brand new motor, right? I mean, I could easily turn around and sell it, essentially, for what I have into the thing. But I want to get some fun out of it, and I decided recently to go ahead and get one. So again, it was fairly cheap, inexpensive. If I keep dumping money to silver, certainly could do that. And that's what I've been doing for years now. And ever since we got back to Tennessee, I've been buying some more, a little bit here and there. And again, it's just, sometimes you just gotta stop for a minute and say, okay, I think I have enough, and maybe enjoy life a little bit, do some things. Again, I live in Florida, like the boating capital of the whole United States, or I don't know about the world, but Florida is that place for boaters. I mean, it is. If you look it up, it's like the #1 place. So the other issue was we went out late yesterday, later than we should have. We should have got out in the morning. Well, we'll go out after lunch, and then lunch turned to like 2 o'clock. Finally get ready, got the kids, some of their friends in the neighborhood went with us. Go down to the boat ramp, and it is absolutely packed like I've never seen in my life anywhere. I can't park the trailer anywhere, so if I put the boat in, it's going to sit there on the side of the dock with me in my car or the van trying to find a place to park, and I can't. So anyone that wants to come in and bring their boat in to take it out of the water, my boat's going to be docked up over there in the way. Right, it's not cool. So we drove around a few times. It's just like, oh my God, we can't even boat. So we went to another boat ramp, which is right off the bay. This one was in the river, which is where I prefer. I don't really want to be going in salt water, but I said, well, it's right there at the mouth of the river. We can just put in right there. It's a much larger boat ramp. Of course, I get down there, and it is out of control packed as well. Now, naturally, it was probably one of the first weekends where a lot of people said, okay, the weather is right, let's go out on the boat. It was great weather. So what happens is, of course, you have winter time. Ain't no one really going on the boats too much. Everyone's all pent up. I can't wait to get out of the water. Can't wait to get water. First day available, I'm going. Well, that was this weekend. So we didn't get to take it out this weekend, but we did take it out a little bit on Thursday night, Friday night, and then actually a little bit on Saturday. But Sunday was absolutely nuts. Was not happening on Sunday. So point of this discussion, sometimes even when you know things are going to be coming in your country, doomy, gloomy, whatever it may be, you know they're coming, you know they're doing things. I wouldn't say go out and go get in a huge amount of debt and, okay, let me go buy a boat because, you know, now I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. That's not good. If you can afford to do it, obviously fine, go for it. You know, you got some money saved up or whatever your finances say you can do, go ahead and do it. You know, you got to live a little bit, but, you know, I've been preparing for this crap for a long time, and I've had all these years in which I could have bought some toys and could have bought some things and didn't. And okay, I'm silver, food storage, silver, you know. And then, now what? Okay, we're 7-8 years past the last one now, and we all know the next one's coming. But I think having a boat, it fits in my garage. It sits there, again, worst case scenario in Florida especially, you know, boater capital of the world. By the time if I see something like, okay, you know what, Evelyn, it's time to sell the boat. I don't care about this anymore. We need to sell that boat. If I see something that tells me that, the average sheep out there is not even close to even thinking that. Therefore, I'll be selling the boat. Some sheep will buy it from me. At the time, not knowing anything's coming. Oh, everything's fine. Life is good. Official recovery was in April 2009, according to Obama. Ain't got nothing to worry about. Great. Got a perfect boat for you. Motor was just rebuilt recently. Here you go. That kind of thing. So, don't let, you know, doom, gloom, fear, whatever it may be, run your life to where you don't do anything. I can't do that. No, something might happen. I can't do that. No, you know, you don't want to be in that mode. And I've never been in that kind of mode, but you have to look at it and say, look, these things are going to happen. This is history. This is cyclical. These cycles happen. It's going to happen again. I need to make sure I'm prepared for when it happens again. And once you're prepared for that it could happen again, and you've got all your ducks in a row, then all of a sudden you have some free time, maybe some free money, or not free, but you know what I mean, money to spend, and you want to live life a little bit. Go ahead. If I didn't believe so, or I felt like it was a dumb thing to do, but I did it anyways, would I be out here telling you in my video? I would have probably just kept it to myself. Like, yeah, you know, maybe I should have done that, and just didn't even say anything to, you know, no one would have known I had a boat anyways. If whether I bought it or not recently, no one would have known. My YouTube subscribers aren't like living next to me and you know, we're like hanging out all the time. So, just a story to tell you. Got a boat, and hell, maybe I'll shoot some video or something out there one day at one of these islands or something. Just to change up the scenery instead of, you know, me in my car or me at the fake Realist News background at my house. So, anyways, can't wait to see what these two meetings are about with Obama and Janet Yellen, and then the Federal Reserve itself having its private meeting about the rates. And could you imagine if they come out and say, well, we know we raised it a quarter or whatever it was, we're going to take it back down. Or can you imagine if they say, you know what, let's raise rates again? Because what Lindsey Williams said was, when the club decides to pull the trigger, it's going to be with interest rates, because most derivatives are tied to interest rates. So you move the interest rates even a little bit and it causes chaos with the derivatives market. So, do they want the chaos right now is the question. If the answer is yes, then they're going to probably raise the rates. If they don't want chaos right now and they need to prolong this a bit longer, then expect them to probably lower the rates. Because if they're going to leave the rates the same, why have an emergency meeting right now? The rates are where they are now, don't need to have a meeting. So this meeting tells me that in the near future, because remember last time was November, and then in December we had the rate hike. So this time, if they're having the meeting, which is today or tomorrow, I think it's today, then next month or the end of this month or sometime soon, we should hear some decision on a rate, either hike or, you know what, that 25%, that 0.25% we went up, we're knocking it back down where it was. Go back down. Oh, markets rally, gold and silver drop a little bit, right? Or we're going to raise the rate again. My question, though, if they're raising the rate again, why have an emergency meeting? However, you look back in November, they had this little secret meeting, and then they did raise the rates. So it could happen again. Maybe they're going to go up a little bit more. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Again, the Federal Reserve is going to be responsible for anything and everything that happens. It will be the Federal Reserve's sole responsibility, and it'll be their decisions that cause anything and everything to happen. Interest rates affects it all. Tighten the money supply, it affects us all. Loosen the money supply, it affects us all. And they have a history of tightening the money supply at the worst possible times, causing depressions and recessions. So, remains to be seen what they're going to do. I already discussed that in my other video, but whatever. Take care.